The slap of a hand against metal echoed down the narrow street, followed by a woman's sharp cry that seemed to tear through the evening air. A group of young men circled her beneath the flickering streetlight, their laughter cruel and careless, their shadows long and threatening against the cracked pavement. Across the road, a single father froze mid-step, his 6-year-old daughter's small hand wrapped tightly around his fingers. In that instant, the world shrank to the sound of that woman's fear and the pounding of his own heart. Seconds later, the street went silent. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in standing up for what's right even when it's hard, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Stories. Your support helps real stories of courage reach more hearts. Daniel Reyes had never considered himself a hero. He was 34, worn down by long shifts at a warehouse and longer nights worrying about bills. Since his wife passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, his world had revolved around one thing: protecting his daughter, Sophia. Every decision he made, every extra shift he took, every sacrifice he swallowed, was for her. He had promised her mother in a hospital room that smelled of antiseptic and heartbreak that he would keep their little girl safe, no matter what it cost him. That evening, Daniel and Sophia had just left the small grocery store on the corner. Sophia clutched a carton of milk against her pink jacket, her dark curls bouncing as she skipped beside him. The sky was streaked with deep orange fading into blue, and the neighborhood carried its usual mixture of noise. Distant traffic, a barking dog, the hum of a passing bus. It was an ordinary evening, until it wasn't. The woman stood pressed against the wall of a closed laundromat, her handbag dangling from one trembling arm. She looked no older than 25, dressed in office attire, her hair pulled into a loose bun now falling apart. 4 young men surrounded her, their bodies blocking her escape. Their laughter was loud, mocking, fueled by the false courage of numbers. One of them reached out, tugging at her sleeve. Another leaned too close, his voice low and threatening. The woman's eyes darted desperately around the street, searching for help that wasn't coming. Daniel's first instinct was fear. Not for himself, but for Sophia. He felt her hand tighten around his, her small body pressing into his leg. He could hear his wife's voice in his memory, telling him to be careful, to think before acting. He knew how these situations could turn violent. 4 against 1. He wasn't a fighter. He was just a tired father carrying groceries and responsibility. But then he saw the woman's eyes meet his. There was no mistaking the silent plea in them. It wasn't dramatic or theatrical. It was raw. Human. Terrified. Daniel felt something shift inside him, something deeper than fear. He remembered another pair of eyes, his wife's, on the night she was rushed to the hospital, when he had felt helpless and small. He remembered promising himself he would never again stand by while someone suffered if he could do something to help. He crouched down slightly and whispered to Sophia to stay behind him, to hold onto his jacket no matter what happened. His voice was steady, though his heart was racing. He stepped forward, his shoes scraping lightly against the asphalt. The laughter faltered as he approached. One of the young men glanced over his shoulder, irritation flashing across his face. Daniel didn't shout. He didn't curse. He simply placed himself between them and the woman, his shoulders squared, his daughter's presence a silent weight behind him. The street seemed to hold its breath. Daniel's voice, when it came, was low but firm. He told them to leave her alone. He told them it wasn't worth it. He told them to walk away. His hands,